Hold on a second. Let's record it on YouTube. Now, for those of you who have been learning a little bit about essential oils or want to learn more, every time I air Dr. Zielinski's previous show that he was on, we get so many calls for his masterclass. The last time we just said, okay, we're just going to have to get him back. And so today we're doing that because there is a new book.
Woo!
Yes, and it hot off the press. It came out yesterday. And so we get to dissect it and learn and grow with Sabrina Ann Zielinski and Dr. Eric Zielinski. So Dr. Z and Mama Z. So fasten your seatbelts because we're going to learn and grow together. By the way, they're going to mute us now for the theme song. Here we go.
The Lillian McDermott Show.
We love, we fear, bridges we burn, we make mistakes, then we live and learn. When life gets tough, and it seems like your best ain't good enough. If you're in need of hope, you know where I'll be right here. Right here, and when you need a friend, you can count on me. I'll be right here, waiting for
you. This is the place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful, best day ever. And for those of you who have been tuning in since 2011, or maybe this is you tuned in yesterday for the first time, just know I'm very grateful. But if you just stumbled upon it, maybe someone said, hey, Dr. Z and Mama Z are on the Lillian McDermott radio show, and this is the first time that you're watching. Just please know I have been waiting for you. This is a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening, as well as my viewing friends on Facebook Live at Lillian's radio show and YouTube and everywhere around the world, will feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, today, I'm just going to say it right now because I know that the phones are going to be ringing off the hook. For those of you who are watching all over the world, I didn't ask this question. So if you're watching from outside the United States, I don't know if we can offer this to you. Maybe we can get creative, but if you're listening or watching from the United States, be the 20th. I'm going to make this really, really fun. The 20th caller or texter, 407-373-5959. And Ashley, I know you just joined us. If you can type in that number again, 407-373-5959. The 20th caller or texter, or the 20th instant message that I receive, or in YouTube, because I've been getting messages from YouTube. We remember YouTube podcasts, all of you. You will get a copy of this brand new book called The Essential Oils Diet. It's lose weight and transform your health with the power of essential oils and bioactive foods. And so we have Sabrina Ann Zielinski. And let me tell you, because last time Dr. Z was on, and I'll introduce him last, but Sabrina, he called her his better half. There was another name. I'll have to ask what that is. I can't remember exactly. But here's his beautiful wife, certified group fitness, martial artist, instructor, health coach, and lactation consultant. Is there anything else that we can add to her list? Her name is Sabrina Ann Zielinski, and she has they've co-authored this beautiful book, The Essential Oils Diet. Everybody wants this book, the book prior as well. The Healing Power of Essential Oils by Dr. Eric Zielinski. And so today we're going to talk about how to integrate essential oils into our everyday life so that it can help us maybe release some weight, and how it does it. And so fasten your seatbelts, because it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge. And I am grateful that Dr. and Mama Z, Dr. Eric Zielinski and SABRINA ANN ZIELINSKI are here to do just that. Welcome, guys, to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show.
Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
That's Yay. Right. Got a good excuse. I brought my better half, the prettier half, and I can't wait to share. It's a great follow-up. It just seems like yesterday we spoke. It just seems like yesterday my first book came out. SABRINA calls them Irish twins, 2 books in a year.
Yes.
And it's like, whoa, we got to take a break, I think. But it was funny. When I was doing a lot of book signings, I was traveling a little bit, and people fell in love with the first book. And they're like, when's the next one coming out? And I'm like, give me a minute. It's like asking a marathon runner when they're going to do a triathlon. Like, give me a minute. I just won the gold medal, right? Yeah. Olympics is 4 years away. So with her help, we were able to do this much quicker than I would have been able to alone. And there's so much of Mama Z in this new book, her recipes, her exercises. And the cool thing, the cool thing about the book is there's like Dr. Z here and Mama Z here. We each talk in the book. So collectively we have a message, but there's a lot of my little side notes, and Mama Z's, her little side notes are everywhere. So it's so fun. We hope people get to know us. Yes. And that's why we love your show and these kinds of interviews, because we're like you. We're on a mission to helping people experience the abundant life. And if our bodies are sick, if our bodies are diseased, we can't. I mean, it's just as simple as that. You cannot fulfill your purpose in life if this earth suit is weighing you down.
Yes, there's a Ayurvedic proverb that says, for the person, of course they use the terminology man, but I'm just going to change it to person. For the person who is sick, medicine is of no use. And the person who is healthy, medicine is of no need. And so it's interesting how you have incorporated something that's been around for, we hear about it in the Bible, and the first gifts of Jesus that he received, frankincense, myrrh, and gold. And so that frankincense, and it's interesting, I have a little vial of frankincense, and I think of that it's a gift, and that's what essential oils are. But before we go into the depth of the book, since this is the first time that Mama Z, is that how you want me to call you? We didn't have time.
Just call me Mama Z. It's so much easier than the whole name.
I can call you, well, SABRINA. I love the name SABRINA. I think it's a beautiful name.
Perfect.
Okay. So with that in mind, you were the one that was really into essential oils before Dr. Z got into essential oils. I would love a little bit for you to share your background.
Sure.
How young you were when you were introduced to this gift.
Absolutely. In the 7th, 8th grade, long before they were cool, I received my first aromatherapy book and a little kit that had 3 essential oils. It was lavender, eucalyptus, and rosemary. And the thing about it was that I had actually, right after that, a few months after that, experienced a chemical burn from over-the-counter products, skincare products, and it burned many layers off of my skin, and it was terrible. And at that time, alpha hydroxy acids and some of the things were just starting to become popular, and I actually had to protect my skin with cosmetics just so that because everything was so wide open. And I'm like, you know what, we can do even better than this, because I would have to come home from school and fill up a sink of water and soak the scabs off of my face. It was so bad. And so by utilizing essential oils and combining those things with just some of the other things I had researched, I was able to not only heal my skin, but also get rid of all the scarring too. So not to this day, I don't have any scarring on my cheeks or anything like that. And I got to see the healing power really of the essential oils. And also my mom's best friend was an Ojibwa Indian. And so she is the one that gifted me those oils. And so every time we had a lump, a bump, a scratch, or, a scratchy throat, she would give us lymphatic exercises to do. She'd make tinctures for us. She would make essential oil gifts. And then, so that just became a way of life of what we did with my family. And fast forward many years later, he thought it was smelly stuff underneath the counter. And then when he started digging into that research, he'd come home and he'd be like, did you know that this, and this does this? And I'm like, yes, And so we've had 4 babies at home, all water births at home with midwife. And we've only used essential oils, during that process. So for pain relief, for just the mood and all of the things that goes along with childbirth, even to the hot compressed towels that we used in that process. So it's just been a way of life for us.
Mm-hmm. It's an amazing story, and it was interesting as I was researching you, and I discovered the story behind the story, because Dr. Zielinski had been on the show before, and he had mentioned that he had learned about this through you, and it was because of it. Was it a grant, Dr. Z, that you decided that you were going to start researching essential oils? Is that
I was a medical writer, and one of my clients commissioned me to write a series of public health reports on essential oils. So I had to read them. I had to read the research trials. I had to look at them, and all the dots started to connect. And I realized, Lillian, in my own story, when I met Christ, my world changed. I was dramatically blind, and then I could see very clearly.
You were Saul and Paul.
Yes, very much so. And what happened was I was very much inspired because my first pastor and my first mentor were men of God that were focused on health. And I mean, who would have thought, and that's really kind of odd in the church. Most pastors don't preach health, and most men don't have Bible studies on how to learn how to cook and juice vegetables. I mean, that was my world. I didn't know any better. Like, that was my introduction to Christianity. And so I was passed this baton at a very young age, at 23. But my healing journey, whether it was through depression, suicidal thoughts, acne, gut issues, joint pain, that was through food. That was through prayer. That was through meditation, exercise. Oils weren't part of it. Mm-hmm. Not because I didn't think they were good, because I didn't think anything of them. Like, they just weren't in my world. My mom never used them, nothing. And so when I met Sabrina, I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool. Good for you. Smells good. But when I started recognizing that there are medicinal properties, evidence-based medicinal properties, very much biblically sound, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm missing something. Mm-hmm. And I've been catching up. I mean, really, it's been like a 6-year journey for me that I've been catching up, and I've been just voraciously reading and studying and teaching and learning and studying and all the stuff. And I'm just coming out with articles and classes and these videos and documentaries and things. Like, people can't get enough of this stuff. Yeah. And I'm still able to catch up. Because every so often a new oil gets on the market, or a new blend, or a new synergistic effect, or a new disease gets treated, and it's like, it's never ending.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I want to take a little break here to just remind you that the 20th caller or texter or instant message, even if you're watching later on YouTube, it's called the Essential Oils Diet. It's hot off the press. I have my own copy this time. Last time I was on it was on my Kindle. And so I was like, okay, how do I show that? But okay, so let's talk a little bit about the book, because that's what you're here for. I mean, we want to encourage everybody to reach out and learn more about these essential oils. But let's talk about the science of the oil, the science of why we should trust this. I mean, especially when you're using it for birth and pain. I mean, let's talk about the science. And I don't know who would like to talk about that.
Yeah. And truth be told, this book, The Essential Oils Diet, oils play a part. We focus on what are known as bioactive compounds, fiber, phytoestrogen, carotenoids, essential oils. There are a number of plant-based, 8,000 polyphenols exist in nature. These are antioxidant-rich compounds. And so we didn't realize this, and I didn't realize this up until last year, that essential oils are part of these bioactive components that give us robust health. So we created this book to explain to people, like, yeah, you could use essential oils, but if you're going to live the fast food lifestyle, it's like taking one step forward but two steps back, right? So if people want to get the nitty gritty, how to use oils for XYZ and all the reports and things, that's the first book, The Healing Power of Essential Oils. But this, and here's something that shocked me, and it's not a condemnation. It's something that really dawned on me today as I was just meditating on just a lot of what's happened the last year. I've been in various places at various conferences selling and signing books that my retailers are selling. And I've noticed something. People in the essential oil space, I've noticed that a lot of them don't look healthy. A lot of them are going to essential oils because they're sick. A lot of people are overweight. And you would think, and it shocked me, there's no difference from the general population of America. And then when you go to the church, they look and smell and taste, and everyone doing the same thing. And in the essential oil world too. Mm-hmm. And that shocked me because when I went to the two largest essential oil company conferences, I was expecting, I thought people would be living a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. And what I noticed was that people were really relying on essential oils only. And they were eating a certain way, not exercising. They weren't really focused on a lot of other things. It was like oils or nothing. And I thought, and I told Sabrina, I'm like, we got to help people get the whole picture, if that makes sense. You know, it's everything. It's holistic lifestyle. And so for me, oils for me was the missing link to my robust health. I had the exercise, I had the fitness, I had the meditation, the prayer, the diet, all that, but I didn't have oils.
And see, on my end, I had the oils and I had the fitness, but I grew up as a daughter of a culinary herbalist, and so she made beautiful food, but a lot of it had things that I was allergic to, but didn't know. And I was so sick. And so when I was in my 20s, I was on 10 different prescription medicines. And until, I had my spiritual transformation, and my pastor talked about the dynamics of fasting. And I did a 10-day water fast, literally getting off of all of those prescription drugs. The part that I was missing was the part that Dr. Z had to play. And that was about all the anti-inflammatory foods and all of those things to go together. Now, granted, he ate everything that was green or brown, and it wasn't as pretty as what my mom could make. So I ended up taking all of these amazing family recipes and converting them to be allergy friendly and also anti-inflammatory. So they were life-giving, and then combining all of those things together. So that creates balance in every area of our life, and then abundant life.
Yeah. I love that, because as you were talking, or as I was picking up the book and diving into the book, my first thought was, you guys have really done a wonderful job in the niche of essential oils. You have. To dive into now, going into the health and wellness when it comes to food and diet and nutrition and all of that, I'm going, how are they going to combine this? When I first learned that you had a new book. But then when I started looking at it, I realized, oh, okay, I see this. Yeah. I see you're, and this show is about taking responsibility. And my registered service mark is you can take a pill or you can take responsibilities. Not that I'm against the pill. I am for doing everything we possibly can to live that life of our dreams, that life that we desire. But in many ways, we have been misinformed. And interestingly enough, we're being censored for misinformation. That's really the truth. Yes. And you have to be very careful with what we're saying. And this belief possibly have been handed down from generation to generation. And one of the beliefs is, and I'm glad you said this, because I say this all the time, churches are full of sick people that give their power away. Like you said, conventions are full of sick people that are supposed to be promoting health. Doctors are sick as well.
Yes.
So what's the missing link? What's the thing that gives us that ownership? And it's to learn this new truth that we talk about on the show, and the new truth that you're talking about in this book too. It's not a one size fit all. And so I love the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the elephant in the room in the book that you address so well. So let's talk about those. Elephant number one. You like to address? Would you like for me to say what they are, or would you like?
Yes, I got to go back to the book. I don't remember exactly what order there are. Like what's?
It's so part of us.
Book.
I know it's so part of us that we can just give us a cue
I'll
and
tell you.
run with it.
What's number one?
There's no oil for that.
Love it. All right, don't hate me, network marketers. Listen, it defies your God-given uniqueness to say, and it's fun. Wear the shirts, the tank tops, the babies can have the pacifiers. I love it. It's cute. The onesies, I love the onesies. Yeah. We love the onesies, right? The babies. There is no oil for that. If there were, no one would be sick. Yeah. If there were an oil for that, you would do something and voila, it'd be like, the TV show Bewitched back in the day, right? Yeah. And the reality is we all, like you mentioned, we're all individual. God created us in his image, but we all have a unique imprint. And here's the thing. The more I understand about the body, the more I research, the more we work and help with people. Who you are today and your biochemistry today and what your blueprint, your DNA blueprint looks like now is not static. It will change moment by moment, day by day, year by year. So you might get a headache because you're stressed out and you go to peppermint, for example, and you might do a certain exercise or go to your infrared sauna and it works, but maybe next month, not so much. And that doesn't mean that peppermint's bad or your sauna's broke or your exercise isn't good. You got to flow and you have to know your body. And so that whole concept of there's an oil for that defies the very nature that we are in flux. And I get it. They're like, oh yeah, oils can do everything. Well, that's kind of dangerous too, because oils, and that's where I want to really encourage people, especially that use essential oils. Essential oils, in my opinion, have, we all talk about synergy, like how certain oils work together, right? That, frankincense and myrrh, everyone knows about that. You mentioned that earlier. But what about how essential oils have a synergistic effect with other bioactive compounds, like the food that you eat? Like, that's the purpose of what we're trying to teach is out of context, essential oils have a limited ability, even within their own right. But when you combine them with foods, when you exercise, when you have just a good, healthy, detoxifying lifestyle, that's where the proverbial magic happens.
Very good. Would you like to add anything to that, Sabrina?
Absolutely. Because, if our diet is in check and, like he's saying, I used essential oils. I was as sick as anybody next door. You probably wouldn't have known I was on 10 different prescription drugs. Yeah. But I'll tell you, when I started detoxing off of those, when I was on my water fast, those essential oils that I used, not only did I need different ones, but it was like a whole new world. And it just opened it up because now my body was able to receive all the gifts of the essential oils. I didn't need as much. First of all, when you detox, you don't have as many headaches, especially if you're living more of an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. But when you seek to use balance in every area, then the essential oils can just enhance. So one size fits all is not going to work for anybody, but that's
right. And no diet fits all,
That's right.
And I know that there are people who consider themselves vegans or paleo or keto or whatever. That doesn't work for everybody. And we've got to be listening to our body. And it's interesting that, many of us, we promote health or we promote, whether it's intuition or whether it's whatever it is. But deep down inside, there's like this secret, and I'm very open about like the little things that are happening. If we listen to our body, our body is telling us what it wants. And we're so uniquely created that what works for you may not work for me and vice versa.
And that happens with us.
Yeah.
So, and that's a challenge. I mean, that's a real challenge. And one of our team members, Erica, we love you, Erica, if you're watching. I know you're not. Erica was our very first employee. She's been with us forever. And she just shared in our little private group, like she's all in. She's all in with the book and the challenge. And she's like, one of her concerns is she has a couple of her younger brothers living with her. And she's like, well, what am I going to do? Make 5 different meals? And she's like, you know what? Suck it up, boys. You're eating when I'm eating. You're going to man up. And so that's one way. Another way, like our dear friend, Olivia, who gave a testimonial and said, look, my husband doesn't eat this way. My kids are picky. My daughter's not so much. So she's finding ways of like sneaking things in, or like, look, they can eat what they want, but I got to do what's good for me. And that's tough. And we will acknowledge that. If your house is divided, we're from Georgia. There's Georgia and Georgia State, right? Or Georgia Tech. There's Michigan and Michigan State, and you see that house divided bumper sticker. Like, it's like, well, fun. If your house is divided in how you live your health life, that could be challenging. But we have seen, and we encourage you to be health evangelists. And you'll find that husbands and wives and children will be won over, especially, and we've seen this over and over with the people that have done our 60-day challenge, which, by the way, is a gift. It's a $400 gift we give for everyone who buys the book, because we want to walk you through a 60-day challenge. It starts May 20th. May 20th.
May 20th. How can people go for that?
Good. Yeah, go to essentialoilsdiet.com. That's it. Go to essentialoilsdiet.com, buy the book, fill out the form. You'll get a special invite. We already have over 800 people signed up right now.
And my mom is doing it.
Yes. Oh. But one thing I found, some people from our first challenge group, they're like, my kids and my husband, they see how good I feel. They notice a difference in me, and they want in. And they're now changing.
Well, real quick, when I first started the show, it was all about being a friend. That's never changed. All about being a friend. And having a round table discussion where everybody's opinion was welcomed, and that it was respectful, because in my family, whoever spoke the loudest was right. And so with that in mind, I was challenged. I would bring doctors to talk about allopathic and what's the latest in pharmacology and all this stuff. And along the way, someone brought some raw vegan food to the station.
Wow.
And I ate it and I loved it. And I said, well, you need to come on my show and let's talk about this. And so he challenged me while he was on the show to go raw vegan for 1 month. And I thought, I can do anything for 1 month.
Sure.
How hard can that be? Well, what ended up happening was that 4 days into it, I felt really good.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I didn't feel bad. I didn't know I could feel better. And that better is a lie. That there's no such thing as better. That's might be another elephant in the room, that we think that just because we feel this way, that's the best it's going to be. But I'm sure that when you have your people that have made the commitment to the diet or whatever it is that they're doing, or lifestyle, I hate calling it a diet, but a lifestyle change where you incorporate essential oils into your nutrition, that better is what shocks people into saying, if I was lied about this, what else was I lied about? That completely changed my show.
Wow.
Completely changed who I am.
Yeah, because you can keep blowing off that roof on feeling better.
Yes. Okay. So we're like at the halfway point, and I need to talk about my sponsors. I hate to talk, but keep in mind, we're going to be talking about the next elephant in the room. And so I just want to encourage you. This is like, just finished telling you the story about my journey. And as a result, it changed completely. And so the Lillian McDermott radio show is not a radio show anymore. It's a classroom. So it's a Lillian McDermott radio show classroom. I come from radio, and now we are all learning and growing together. And, we don't know how long Facebook is going to be so gracious about this information, how to heal the body, or how YouTube is going to welcome this information. So I want to encourage not only that you subscribe and follow us and like us, but that you go to whenyounneedafriend.com. That's where we take 100% ownership, responsibility for our life. So you can't blame anyone. And I love the book by the way, 20th caller, texter, instant message, or whatever, 407-373-5959. I don't care what you talk about and what you blame your metabolism, which they address in this book. Having a fast metabolism, we learned, ages you. So this myth about metabolism is like debunked here in the book. So I'm really excited about that. So we learn how to take ownership for our life. It's no longer your thyroid. I can say I have a thyroid condition, and I don't blame obesity in my life because of my thyroid condition. So once we take ownership for our life, we stop the blame, the shame, the fault finding, and we take ownership, because responsibility has a bum rap.
Yep.
Responsibility is about empowerment and freedom. And so if you're ready to take 100% responsibility, I want to encourage you to go to whenyounneedafriend.com, subscribe. And when you do that, the show is sent to you. So you can either watch us on Facebook Live or on YouTube, whatever it is. I'm on all the podcasts. So let's learn and grow together in this classroom where the teachers come in, teach us how to live this responsible life that we long for. And if you created it, if you take ownership of it and you created it, you can uncreate it. You can create whatever you want, because we are co-creators. The power that created us gave us the power to create. And so I'm really excited that there are people that are like-minded that are supporting the show. So I want to encourage you to go to my sponsors page and figure out how you can support my sponsors the way they're supporting me, whether it's Liberty Health Share, which we are changing the way insurance is, and we're now focusing on health share, truly freedom of choice. And First Alternative Care, $35 a month for the entire household. The entire household gets telemedicine 24/7, family practice, dermatology, as well as 3 hours a year of behavioral health counseling. And that's per household, $35. So look that up. They're in my website at whenyounneedafriend.com. Dr. Grable in Jacksonville, he is a functional, integrative, holistic. Check him out as well. The pharmacy in Merritt Island. And of course, Keep Me Safe Organics. I loved when Sabrina said that she used skincare cosmetics to help her with healing her scars. And we know how much toxins that has. And so I want to address that in a little bit, but I want to encourage you to be a part of the solution. You are the solution. So join us in this conversation in this classroom as well. So I'm very grateful that Sabrina and Eric Zielinski, Dr. Eric Zielinski, are on the show today. We're talking about their new book. It's called The Essential Oils Diet. And it's lose weight and transform your health with the power of essential oils and bioactive foods. Pretty interesting. I did some research on that too. And so be the 20th caller or texter, instant message. It doesn't matter if you're watching or listening on podcasts or YouTube later on. We will honor you as well. We want to include you. And if you want to take on a live broadcast, at Lillian's radio show on Facebook. Okay, so enough about that. So let's go back to elephant in the room number 2. Elephant in the room number 2 is, because I've got so many notes here, is the antidote to chemical soup, bioactive-rich foods, and essential oils.
We need to stop the onslaught.
Oh no, I'm sorry. That's not that.
That's a good one though. We can talk about that
okay,
too.
Go ahead. Let's go ahead.
It's a good one.
So what is the reason why? What is the reason why we are so overweight as a people?
Yes.
In the book, Mayo Clinic, the United Kingdom's National Health Services, it's been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt, metabolism really has nothing to do with weight gain, weight loss. It has a lot to do with overeating, lack of exercise, and the type of foods that you're eating.
Yes.
When you really dive deep into what metabolism is and metabolic function, you discover that there's something known as toxic overload, toxic burden. Mm-hmm. And whether it is a virus, like everyone's talking about measles, everyone's talking about mumps and chickenpox and flu virus, all that stuff, whether it's that or sugar or a paraben or a phthalate or some chemical like glyphosate in your food, maybe it's a genetically modified organism, the body doesn't know what to do with this stuff. And so the body gets on defense mechanism alert. And so essentially your metabolism, which is the some chemical processes that make up how you live, it's the energy required to live. That's what the metabolism is. Mm-hmm. So when your metabolism is compromised to keeping you alive because of all the onslaught of toxins, and just again, think of it, just like the flu virus being floating in the air, you inhale it. What are you inhaling through your aerosols? What are you inhaling when you put makeup on? What do you inhale? What are you swallowing when you lick your lips, ladies, when you're putting on lipstick? Yes. If there are toxic chemicals in that, your metabolism gets compromised. And now instead of properly assimilating food, digesting and breaking down fat and burning it, right? Instead of giving you energy so you can exercise and have you have a nice, robust love life and good sleep habits and all those good things, your body's basically in survival mode. Yeah. And so what happens is to stop this onslaught of this chemical soup that I call it, because it's everywhere. Chemicals are everywhere. You have to live a detox life. And we have found people not even changing their diet, doing nothing else, but starting to DIY, starting to detox their life, weight goes away. Pounds start to shed. Fat starts to burn because the body's able to function properly now. And then when you add bioactive foods and essential oils and you exercise, follow Mama Z's recipes, everything starts to work on all cylinders.
And when you think of all the layers between the Wi-Fi and the air that we breathe, yes, and the water, yes, and everything, you know, our skin is our largest organ, and what we put in it is just as important as what we put on it. And so because of that, we need to just be more cognizant of the things that are around us. And one of the best low-hanging fruits is to throw away all of your plug-in air fresheners. And when you detox from those things, you will see a change happen. Not only will you be able to be more sensitive to things that are not natural, but your body starts to be able to be sensitive to other things that we want them to, like the essential oils, so that they're much more effective. And then you get further and further away of that toxic threshold when you're processing food and processing the things that you're putting in and on your body in every way.
Yeah. And we want what's quick. You know, we want a quick, and we have some questions. As a matter of fact, I wanted to address, some people want to know, I guess I read a question that says, anyone here know how to kill a stomach bug in its tracks? Can essential oils do that?
Yeah, it's all depends. I mean, there's so many different things you could do, but what is a stomach bug meat? Is it a gut issue? Is it a bacteria? Is it a fungi? But yeah, there's so many different things that you need to do a little homework too. And that's a concern that I have when it comes to what do I do for XYZ disease? I just want to really caution people, like, essential oils are medicine. And if you're going to take a few drops of oregano essential oil in a capsule and consume it, like, that's a medicinal dose now. And that could interact with other chemicals and other drugs you might be taking. So yeah, the answer is yes. And it all depends on what it is that we're trying to really kill, right?
And when we have in our family, when we have an onset of any sickness, we love to do a detox bath. And a detox bath is 1 cup Epsom salts and 1/4 of a cup of Bragg apple cider vinegar. And then in your hand, you put 1 tablespoon of a carrier oil like almond oil or olive oil. And you use 1 to 2 drops of lemon essential oil and 6 to 8 drops of lavender for an adult. You mix that up and then you run your hands through the bath. And then that way it emulsifies the essential oils and it's not floating on top, and you're able to soak your body for 30 to 45 minutes in as hot of the water as you can stand. That helps a lot because that pulls a lot of the toxins out. And, you know, for our kids, a lot of times we don't even know what they've been affected by, because by doing that alone, a lot of times it knocks something off of its track.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that we do is we use the lipospheric vitamin C, and we do an immune boosting shot. Dr. Z calls it his natural flu shot.
Yeah.
But our kids love it, and actually they ask for it. Sometimes my daughter will be like, oh, I think I might need that. And she'll have all the ingredients like set out on the counter.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, because we put honey in it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we put, Manuka honey and it's the recipe is very simple, but we were plagued because we did have black mold at our previous home.
Oh.
And that was the one thing that was able to cure us of pneumonia was this combination. So, I mean, it's very powerful, and I've seen it work wonders for lots of different conditions as well to boost the immune system.
Yeah, and vitamin C is wonderful as well. I was born from the beginning with chronic asthma. And so at 9 months, I was hospitalized, and I went my whole adult life, or actually until 12. And then that went away until I was 24. And then when I got pregnant, it came back with a vengeance. And I was on every single drug you can imagine for asthma until Dr. Andrew Saul said, Lily, I can get you off of those drugs. And I went, bring it, just like the challenge. And that was 6 years ago. And I take vitamin C and lobelia. That's an herb that I've been using for my lungs. And it's allowed me to bring the vitamin C down, because I was taking 10, 15,000 milligrams of it to like 4,000 a day. And that's now a healthy dose for me. So there's just so many different things out there that we don't know. And because of people like you that are thinking outside the box, I mean, Dr. Z, you could have just, done your thing with chiropractic, and you could have continued doing what you're doing, but you stepped outside. You decided to learn more. You were challenged to learn more and to write about essential oils, and look at what it created. And now your children are going to, you're breaking the cycle of what you had with all the problems that you had before. Yes. And so are you, Sabrina.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. And that's what we're encouraging people. Leave a legacy of faith.
Yes.
Join the movement. I mean, that's why we called our first Essential Oil Telesummit the Essential Oils Revolution. It is. And I love essential oils because they're very much a very easy point to start. For anyone can put 5 drops of lavender in the diffuser and sleep good at night. Like, that's easy to tell people, like, hey, pick up our book and change your whole life. Like, that's a more commitment, and I got to say, this book isn't for the faint of heart. I mean, this book is for people who want to change. This book is for people who want a lifestyle. The Essential Oils Diet is a book. It's a plan. It's a program that we live every day. And it talks about how to travel, what to do during holidays, what happens when your kids go away to school. Like, what do you do when you're busy and you have kids and you're trying just to live? We get that. But, this isn't for the faint of heart. This isn't processed food. This isn't fast. And we're big fans of enjoying family, the slow food movement. And I'm telling you something, we reap the benefits. Like you mentioned, our kids, we're not sick. Yeah, we get a little sniffles here and there. Thank God we broke the cycle. And it took a long time. And our generation, your generation, adults watching, we have to break the cycle. Because our kids, especially now with mandatory vaccines and things that are just coming up all over the country, we have to create this network of people that support each other. Like, that's the bottom line, is we want freedom to choose. Freedom to choose our healthcare, freedom to choose. If the last thing you want, y'all, is for the FDA to control essential oils. The last thing we want is for the FDA to get control. And like you mentioned, Facebook, God knows how long they're going to allow this stuff. We know the government's cracking down. So we have freedom of speech for as how long? And thank God publishers, like our publisher, said, hey, we're going to give you a platform. And our books are everywhere around the world. So hallelujah. So a big thanks to our publisher and to our team and everyone and you, Lillian, everyone and all your guests. Like, you just had Del Bigtree, a friend of ours, on the show. Like, we need to continue, and like, people need to join your newsletter and be part of this community because it's becoming more and more grassroots.
I even said that, I said that with Del when he was on the show on Monday. I said, we need for you to subscribe to our website, because someone said to me, oh, we don't need websites. We have Facebook and YouTube and all that. And I'm like, hey, whoa. You need to have your own place where people can find you. Just in case, because we really don't know. And all I can say is I'm not against vaccination. I just want to state that right now. I am for vaccine safety. And so I think that that is something that we could all unite with. And of course, I have my own personal opinion and my own exemptions, but I have to say, I want to find what we all have in common. This anti-vaccine is a distraction.
Yeah.
It is. And a fear setting. And we need to wake up, #wake up, that's a distraction, just like the government, the Republicans and the Democrats focusing on each other. I don't do politics, but I will say that when you don't want to do something, you blame somebody else. And this is where it stops. And I think that if we could just stop blaming each other, and I get so passionate about this because my grandchildren now are at stake. And my great-grandchildren are at stake. And so here's the thing that I want people to focus on. What do we have in common? We all want safety. So if they can prove that the vaccines are safe, then there is no problem, is there? Right?
Yeah, and if we could prove that consuming essential oils and using them a certain way and adding them to our food are safe, there's no argument there either. Because we get a lot of tar and feather for what we recommend in our books. People say you should never ingest essential oils. You shouldn't do this. Well, says who? Not the research, not the aromatherapy text that I have, not the aromatherapy school I went to. So we're just trying to debunk a lot of the myths. And I'll tell you, main media has turned down, several outlets have turned us down because they do not want to support ingesting essential oils. And for all of our friends who are network marketers, you know this, you've been ingesting essential oils for years and years, and you know that there is a right way and a wrong way.
Right. Okay,
and so
let's talk about that because
you have to.
There are people who get a little bit of knowledge, and all of a sudden they're experts. So let's talk about that. What's the right way? What's the wrong way?
Well, truth be told, essential oils can be caustic. They could burn, and they could burn the mucous membranes in your mouth and in your oral cavity, in your nose. They are. And some people, they get earaches and they're putting tea tree in their eardrum. Like you could burn a hole in your eardrum. I mean, people don't recognize it's not the safest way. Dilution, capsules, putting oils in your food, like our recipes, a drop of cilantro or lime in your guacamole. You've never tasted anything so good. We try to add culinary doses.
Oh, challenge accepted.
You'll love it.
Well, and the thing is nobody has a problem, shaking a little bit of basil, in their food. And so when you think of it like that as well, the herb, and, growing up, a daughter of a culinary herbalist, like this is a way of life, and utilizing a different part of the plant in some cases, or using essential oils in addition to the herbs, it just enhances the flavor so much, and you get the extra medicinal benefits.
I got this when I made a smoothie and I put a full lemon. Like the actual lemon, not just the juice, but the rind. I cut it in half.
And seeds?
Oh yeah. Boom. Right in there. Get a good Vitamix Ninja, whatever it is. The flavor just popped. And I did my research. You know how many essential oils were in that rind? About 2 drops of essential oil. You get about 4 drops per lemon, depending on the size. So when you get the rind of the lemon, you cold press it, extract it together, you get about 3, 4, sometimes 5 drops of essential oil. I consume 2 drops of essential oil in my smoothie because I ate a lemon. Same thing with lime or orange. So you're not going to tell your kid not to eat the rind. And so kind of put things into perspective, just, 1 or 2 drops ain't going to kill anybody. But if they are taken in their whole form, we are consuming essential oils on a regular basis and people don't even realize it, right? Little micro doses. But again, when you're talking 5, 6, 10 drops, like significant therapeutic dosage, you got to be careful. And so that's where we're just trying to educate. And like you've mentioned so many times already, empowerment, because there is no fear. When you know the parameters, like when you go to the pharmacy and you get your over-the-counter drug, you look at the instructions, you know your parameters, you know where your safe limit is. You're just not going to take a handful of aspirin and pop it in your mouth. I hope not. I hope you read, 2 to 3. Okay, I got that. Same thing with essential oils. Once you get the instructions down, you're good. And when it comes to eating the good food that we recommend, there is no limit. We're not counting calories, carbs, and fats. We want to give food freedom. And that is the epitome of everything that we have learned, is that we don't look at nutrition labels, and we're not bound to how many numbers and all that. It doesn't matter. What matters is what's in your food. What matters are the ingredients. What matters is balance.
Right.
And all good things in moderation. We have a podcast, a Natural Living Family podcast, and we had an episode about that. Like, all things in moderation is a lie. Like, what does that mean? Yeah. And let's get extreme. All things. Okay, a little bit of adultery, a little bit of cocaine, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. No.
Dr. Esselstyn came on my show and said, yeah, try a little bit of erectile dysfunction in moderation.
Exactly. You don't want that. So for me, coming from, I was very addicted to alcohol and narcotics. Like, I don't touch that stuff anymore. So for me, all good things in moderation. If something's good and healthy for you, you add it and you eat it in moderation. And so we kind of like open up the door, like, hey, apples aren't bad for you. Grapes won't kill you. Carb-loaded fruits and vegetables are actually good, but you have to have them in moderation. Mm-hmm. And so we just teach people. And you end up feeling free. Like, you don't have to worry 5, 6, 7 times before you eat something, because you know it's good.
Yeah. Kim said, a little wine, no ED.
Yes, no ED.
And one of the things that Dr. Z mentioned is, about this not being for the faint of heart. It is a process.
Yes.
But it's worth it. And I'll tell you, one of the best things is that when we started our 60-day challenge, when you have all of these people kind of going through the same process at the same time, even though their bodies are different, there are certain things that are coming up at the same time. So to be able to walk through a process like this, to detoxifying your life, your food, and all of these areas, knowing that everybody has different goals in mind, provides a support unit so that everybody feels well supported and loved in the process, whether their family or kids are or are not on board. They have a safe place to go to so that they're supported through the process. Yep. And that has been the key that has helped bind not only everybody together, but also to see the kind of success that people are able to do and to break through those barriers that they've never been able to break through before because they have such unconditional support.
Yeah. And having that support of the oils, that maybe there's a deficiency in the body. Many people, and I say this all the time, I started a foundation called the McDermott Holistic Healing Foundation to help pay for alternative medicine. Like alternative treatments for people who have cancer or that want to try something different other than chemotherapy and radiation, because nobody is chemotherapy and radiation deficient. We know that. And so we want to be able to help that way. But, when you think about, the deficiencies in the body, perhaps maybe once you fill it with a particular essential oil, whatever that does, maybe it'll reduce the craving. Let's talk about some of the cravings that essential oils do reverse or reduce so that they can choose the right foods for them. Who would like to address that? Sabrina?
Yeah, one thing that's really important, a lot of people, myself included, I've been very much at the hands of a sugar addiction, and it took me a little while, but I've been free from that now for about 16 years. Wow. And I'm telling you something, being free from sugar, the problem is a rampant, running amok blood sugar balance. And ultimately your insulin's receptors just don't respond. And so we all are just overdosing on sugar. And because our blood sugars are so high, because our insulin receptors are basically just like burned out, we are craving sugar all the time because we're not getting it into our cells. And it's like we're starving ourselves of sugar, but we're gorging ourselves of it at the same time. It's very counterintuitive.
Yes. And so that inflammation is also causing all sorts of issues with the
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So you're craving it all the time. It's like nonstop. And if you ask 1,000 people in various countries and you ask them, what do you crave most of the time? It's usually something sweet. I mean, most Americans drink a can of soda, which is 12 to 15 tablespoons or whatever it is, teaspoons of soda a day. I mean, you eat your weight in sugar a year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Cinnamon bark.
167 pounds a year.
Cinnamon bark, right? Cinnamon bark essential oil. And if you inhale it through a diffuser, you can have a cool little inhaler tube, a nice little spritzer, a roll-on. We have so many of the different recipes. If you really have a problem and if you're trying to reverse type 2 diabetes, or if you're on any sort of drug, you work with your pharmacist and your doctor. And I'm telling you, we have seen this happen over and over again with the guidance of a doctor, getting off of your medication by ingesting cinnamon essential oil, just 2 or 3 drops in a gel capsule a couple times a day, again, under the guidance of a doctor, and you'll watch what will happen to your blood sugar balance. Next thing you know, your cravings just kind of go away. And the same thing also, are you craving certain things because you're depressed? Like me, Sabrina, we've battled various different mental illnesses, and it is Mental Health Awareness Month, right? And so it's so important for us to recognize whether you're depressed or suicidal, or you have an eating disorder, you're anxious or stressed. These will also cause you to crave foods that give you that dopamine, serotonin rush, like a drug addict.
Yes.
But using oils like lime and grapefruit can help perk the mood. And they also have a dual action. They help burn fat. Those 2 essential oils, lime and grapefruit. And peppermint. We love peppermint because it's a nice energizer. It has a satiety aspect to it. It makes you feel full. And it's a good booster all around. We find that really those 4, peppermint, cinnamon bark, grapefruit, and lime, those are our core.
That's awesome. What I want to do is, because the show is about to end, what I would like to do is, after we hear the theme song and we do all the goodbyes, we're going to have like a little private afterwards and maybe talk a little bit more about these essential oil recipes. Is that
awesome?
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So even though you hear that, that's the tune that we're still going to continue. Remember the book, 407-373-5959. It's the message 20th caller or texter. Thank you so much, Sabrina, Mama Z, and Dr. Z, for not only writing the first book, but co-writing the second book and helping us be stronger for it. So thank you very much. And for those of you, it's time for you to remember that you are in control. You can take your health back. You can take a pill. You can take responsibility. Please remember, I'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever.
Are intended for the individual callers and guests on the program and are presented to our wider audience solely for general educational purposes. Please act responsibly and consult personally with your own medical, psychological, or nutritional expert before taking any steps to improve your life.
Okay. Sorry about that. It's like the time goes by so quickly. Have you guys have you gotten the book yet? I know that the book just came out yesterday. You can get the book on naturallivingfamily.com, right? You can get the book there. You can go to Amazon. Where else can we get the book?
Everywhere, yeah. And we encourage people to go to essentialoilsdiet.com. We have a great group challenge, 60-day group coaching program that's free, PDFs, videos. We do a shopping tour, all kinds of cool stuff to give you resources that you get the most out of the book. Like you will watch Mama Z make at least 6 of the recipes, but how to perform all of the exercises in the book too. So you just don't have to wonder, where's my arm go? What does my foot do? She shows you.
That's good. And that's if you buy the book, and you can just get that at essentialoilsdiet.com.
Yeah.
2 for 1. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Okay. So I wanted to see if there's any questions that any of you have from our listeners. Thank you so much, Brandy, for joining us. You're joining us. Let me see, where did you say you were joining us from? Where are you today? She travels all over. I'll check and see. I think I saw that she wrote where she was visiting. Victoria's in Missouri. Thank you, Victoria, for joining. I know she was on yesterday, really excited. Brandy's in Portland. That's it. So thank you so much. We have Oklahoma in the house. Tara, thank you so much for joining us today. We have, of course, Ashley. Thank you so much for helping. Misty. Misty also works with essential oils. Thank you so much, Misty. And we have Florina from the UK. I love all you listeners from Malaysia, the UK, from Jordan. The show is truly worldwide. And can they get the book if they're overseas, outside the United States? Is it out in other countries?
Yes. And we also, how many languages is our first book in now?
Yeah, it's being printed in like 7 different languages coming up. It's wild.
Yes.
Wow. Spanish included, which is a big one. And yeah,
Vietnamese
and Czech and Slovakian. And we got the whole Eastern European bloc, which is kind of cool. But yeah.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so Virginia wants to know if there's a local group for the essential oils diet. Do you know if you localize?
No, there are no local. Yeah, not yet. And that's a great idea. Right now it's just isolated. Yeah, it's isolated in a private Facebook group. But after someone goes through the challenge in 60 days, we would love to help them any which way if they want to facilitate their own local group. Our vision is to see this in churches. I mean, Dave Ramsey has been a great example for us.
Yes.
We would love to see all the churches in the country host their own challenges and help everyone from pastor to door greeter just really get a grip and experience the abundant life.
Iron.
Yeah, we would love that.
Wow. Okay, so Katie, she is watching from, she wants to know if, let's see, Katie wants to learn more. Okay, thank you, Katie, for joining us today. She's also shared. Katie wants to know about if the essential oils complement the keto diet. Would you like to address that, Dr. Z?
Essential oils actually, they contain ketones. That's something about essential oils. What are they? They're ketones or esters. They are the chemicals that we know of in biochemistry class. However, when it comes to our approach to food, we don't subscribe to limiting carbs or calories or fats. And from my research, what my research has shown me, there is no long-term efficacy. And what we've done is we've put together what the research has suggested, a diet rich in bioactive compounds. Again, the polyphenols, the carotenoids, the antioxidant-rich foods, the fiber, things that you don't think about. These are the foods that we need to consume in abundance. And the long-term studies show us, like the centenarians from the blue zones, that this will help us live long lives.
Yes.
So I would encourage someone who's currently on keto to consider what we're trying to share and teach. And who knows, you might feel a little bit different. You might feel better.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but Dr. Joel Furman is a regular on the show since 2015. He's been on every month.
Yep.
2015. I feel so honored. And the Nutritarian lifestyle, it allows a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And well, with the exception of oils, so there's a little bit of oils, not that much. If you want avocado, you just have avocado oil, just have the entire avocado, because it is all included in there, and you get the micro and macronutrients and all that. And tomorrow we're going to talk about vitamins that address the compatibility of the different ones. But so Kimberly says that she loves Dr. and Mama Z. And so thank you so much. I just want to acknowledge all of you who have been watching and listening. And Gina, they want to acknowledge that they also want safety, and Katie wants safety in vaccines. Thank you so much for acknowledging that. Yes, they did say that baby powder was safe, and we all know that it had asbestos, and they knew it too. DDT is another example.
That is so scary.
Yeah, DDT, they would have actual videos where they were spraying the children.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, this is safe. And DDT is handed down in the DNA. So there's so much. Let's see if there's any questions.
I forgot about that baby powder thing.
The Melaleuca essential oils, good quality. They wanted to ask, who asked this question? Katie. What would you like to say about?
Well, we plead the fifth of any evaluation of any company. That is one thing that.
Oh, is that a company?
Yeah, it's a company, Melaleuca. It's a network marketing company.
Oh.
So the one thing we want to advise you to do is pick up the book, The Essential Oils Diet. We show you how to find a good brand. And there are several brands out there that have pure essential oils. And so to give us the freedom to speak so boldly about how oils can prevent and treat disease, as the research shares, we have to be non-branded. And also, we don't want to isolate ourselves, because if we align ourselves with one group, the other group will feel estranged. And we really are on a mission to helping the entire, not only body of Christ, but the entire world.
Yes.
And so we put our stake in the sand. We're like Switzerland, and we're just teaching you how to eat, how to live, how to exercise, and how to use essential oils the right way.
At family gatherings, we don't talk about religion, politics, or what brand of essential oils we use.
No.
You raised it to a new bar, Sabrina. Very good. Joanne, thank you for listening watching from Australia. I'm watching.
Love Australia.
We love Australia.
Our
Yes,
friends
yes,
Food
we have-
Matters and James and Laurentine and Kim Morrison, our good friend who owns 28 over there. Love Australia and New Zealand.
Oh, nice, nice. Jason Stevenson, who's a regular on the show. He's the
Thank you,
meditation.
Jason.
Yeah, Jason Stevenson meditation, a regular on the show as well. So I keep telling him, you need to invite me to go to Australia. Just pay my expenses. I'll do whatever you want for free.
You know, we actually had someone who is going to do a tour for us. I mean, there is a lot, and Australia is under fire, by the way. Australia has a lot of restrictions, and as a chiropractor, like there was an assault. Like how the American Medical Association assaulted the Chiropractic Association 30 years ago. It was a lawsuit about
Undoctored documentary. I just watched that.
Yeah, that was happening a few years ago in Australia. And, wow. So Australians we just want to support you and love you and continue to educate, because we know that essential oils are booming out there, but we also know that there is a very strong medicalization of that's happening in essentially taking away your freedom.
Yes.
Again, we just want freedom. That's all we want is freedom. Freedom to grow our own food. Hey, you know, how crazy is it? I think we talked about this last time, Lillian. How crazy is it? We can't even drink raw milk. I mean, that's illegal in most states. Why is it illegal to drink milk that's raw, right? I just want the freedom to do what I want to do with my health, as long as it's not going to hurt me and my family. Right.
Well, it's been a gradual thing. And I know I do want to talk about the book, but it's been a gradual taking away. The Holocaust didn't happen overnight.
Good point.
That's right.
That's a good point.
That's so true.
And it's systematic, y'all. We got to recognize. And hey, you know what? Because Del was on your show, I know your tribe will be receptive to this. Vaccines is the forefront. It's been the battleground. It is the now political battleground to this. It's the next level. It's mandated medical treatments. And where is that in our Constitution?
Yeah.
Right?
And
so that's the concern.
The censoring of other,
stop?
Beliefs that mine is good and you need to listen to all of that, but your opinion isn't welcomed.
Yep.
And so I love that you have a safe place here for people to have that freedom, because it's so important. Yeah. Because to get real information out and arm people with the information so they can make the best decisions for them and their family is the way to go.
Yeah. Well, all power to you guys that I am, in the Bible, envy was used in a positive way. The Gentiles were given religion or
to cause the Jews to be envious, right?
Envious of so the Gentile and the Jew. So they were given that so that the Jews would be jealous and want what they had. I believe, I hope I quoted that correctly, but I am envious in a good way that you're raising your children the way I didn't know any better. And I raised my children to believe a certain way. And that's why I'm focused on new truths that, when we were children, treating others the way you wanted to be treated, okay, because we were the center of the universe. But as we get older, treating others the way we want to be treated is narcissistic, and not, treat others the way they want to be treated. I think it's a better rule to go by. And so, when we were children, we learned, okay, it's okay to eat Yo-Hos and Twinkies, and fast foods came in and all this stuff, where I was raised where my mom would cook a meal. It didn't matter that it was Spanish or Italian or whatever. But then I adopted that lifestyle, and I taught my children that. But now this next generation is just so disposable, and they don't realize that what's happening is that we're creating a new generation. And you say this in the book, and I think that was one of the elephants in the room, that this generation is going to be sicker. Then this is the first time in history where the next generation will not outlive the family. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, the life expectancy of the next generation is not predicted to be longer than the previous, which is that doesn't happen. I mean, we're supposed to be advancing. Like if you believe in evolution, we are de-evolving right now. Like that is the way we're reversing. And this is a lot different than, and I know people mention the plagues and they mention the polios and they mention the things that, I mean, these diseases stemmed from this deplorable living conditions. Not proper sanitation, horrible water, not proper nutrition. But when you go back to the garden, you go back to thousands of years of good, healthy nutrition that we see in the Bible, especially our brothers and sisters in Christ. If you're Jewish, you read your Tanakh, you'll see people live to a ripe old age, very healthy. Here's Caleb about to take his land at 80 years old in the promised land, wanting to fight. Like, how many 80-year-olds want to go to battle, right?
They're at 99 years old.
I know a few, but that's about it.
Hallelujah. I take that at a literal. You know, Moses was 120 years old when he died, and he was doing pretty good on his own, right?
Yeah, but he didn't make it into the promised land, you know?
No, but we want to be obedient. No, but still, right? And so what we need to realize is that we do have the control and we do have the power in our hands. And it's something that we just want to really encourage people about, and just have that faith and that belief that, you know, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.
Yes.
Because
Very
the Creator
much so.
who created us gave us the power to create. It's in there. You know, we will do greater things. And, you know, and we have to call upon that within us, because if we just have a spark of what God is in us, we can do all things. If you take that, we can do all things. And so we you know, there's so many ways that we give up our power. We even give up our power to essential oils. And I love how you address, you know, you can't just take essential oils and expect things to happen. Just like we can't take a pill and expect for our life to change. So, you know, we've got to move forward. We've got to pick up our mat. I love that story in the Bible where the paralytic man was on the side waiting for 35 years, 37 years. I can't remember how many years it was. And, you know, Jesus knew this person, but he still asked the question, you know, what do you want? Do you want to heal? Yeah. And the paralytic man had to say yes. He could have just gone, boop, levitated, put him in the, but what Jesus said was, then pick up your mat and walk. We first have to acknowledge that we want to be healed, and then we have to do whatever it takes to pick up that mat and walk. And so I like the fact that, you know, man does not live on bread alone. Healing does not happen with essential oils alone. So with that in mind, if you want to quickly, you had talked about peppermint and you had talked about other things. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but if you can quickly talk about some remedies that help with cravings. You mentioned the cinnamon bark, which kind of like, you know, let's talk about how do you do the cinnamon bark and roll-on that's in there?
Yes. Well, and one of the ways that we also love, he's going to go over the roll-on, but
you can go over and talk about them. Yeah.
So your Cut Your Cravings diffuser blend: 1 drop of cinnamon bark, 2 drops of black pepper, 2 drops of peppermint. And that is awesome. And we've watched people who have struggled with smoking and other addictions where that has been a key. And especially if it's food related, or if it is where you have that hand to mouth type of thing that you need to have that, then what we've done is what's called quit sticks. And you know, just like those reed diffusers, it's really, you take toothpicks and you put the essential oils in a container and let the essential oils draw up those toothpicks so that you're able to like have all of those amazing essential oils in there. And then every time that you have that hand to mouth sensation, whether it's food related or other things like that, then you're able to pop one of those in and have the quit sticks. So we've watched people who have, you know, had the smoking addiction. One lady, she was at her sewing machine all day and she smoked all day long. And so she put a diffuser on her place and she used the quit sticks, and it literally changed the behavior until she didn't need those quit sticks anymore. Wow. So for the quit sticks, it's 20 drops of black pepper essential oil, 10 drops of grapefruit essential oil, 5 drops of peppermint essential oil, 5 drops of orange, 5 drops of cinnamon bark, And you want to use a 1 ounce glass measuring cup, 50 to 75 toothpicks, and of course an edible carrier oil to fill that so that it's able
So coconut would be a good one.
Yep, absolutely.
Well,
or
we actually prefer olive oil because sometimes coconut oil will harden depending on where you live. And olive
or
oil.
MCT oil.
I live in Florida. I love MCT oil.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's it.
And that's it. And literally you're going to let that suck right up into those toothpicks. And then you are able to utilize those at your convenience.
That's very good. And so with that in mind, I was looking at your makeover for your kitchen. There's so many different wonderful tips in this book. Again, I have not looked at my messages. I've not looked at my phone. 407-373-5959 instant message will get you a free copy of this book. But if you buy the book, then you can get this group that you can belong to as well. And it's essentialoilsdiet.com. So, and I read, who was it? I read that someone just got their book yesterday.
Yay!
Yeah.
I love it.
Who was it?
Awesome.
I quickly looked back, and yes, it was Owina.
Yeah. Yes. One of our favorite fans. Thank you.
Yes.
Love it. Tell us what you think. Leave a review on Amazon. Help us get the word out.
Yeah,
Let's crack the Amazon code. So the more reviews, the better. And we've gotten some really good ones. We know a lot of you who have done the challenge already. We know the results have been life-changing. So
and we help you rehab your skin too in the process.
All kinds of different good stuff.
Especially if people have more weight to lose than others.
Yep.
We help you learn exactly what you need to do, because that's the number one thing that people ask me if they have a large amount of weight to lose. What do I do about the skin? I don't want a bunch of hanging skin. And we teach you in the process how to rehab your skin while you're losing weight, so you can bring back that elasticity and all the things that you need.
You have that wrap.
I have the wrap. Yep. And then I teach them. I
teach you what to do. Is it real though? Is it real?
It is. It is real.
40. So you're 40.
I'm 40. And I'll tell you, I've had 4 babies, and my nurse midwife, guys, I have a home midwife, and my nurse midwife, she looked at me when I went in for my appointment a couple months ago, and she's like,
"You're doing good."
She's like, 4 babies and no stretch marks. I love it. And so it is, it's so powerful what you can do and what your body has the ability to do for you when it comes to your skin and the regeneration of skin and getting oxygen back into those areas that have not been worked out or massaged or all those things. And part of that is that skin wrap and all the other things that you can do within your daily regimen.
Awesome.
Lots of information. I noticed that Claire is watching from Northern Ireland. Thank you so much. And Janice said that she got her book. So there's a lot of people that are in Owina. She's in Indiana. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. So I'm just excited that we get to, on the second day that the book is out.
Second day. And we just got a bunch. That we're signing copies, giving away to our challengers and some special folks in our life. And we can't wait. Oh, if you're local to Atlanta, the Alive Expo, the largest natural health event ever. It's every year now, but going on for almost 7, 8, 9 years. 9,000 people, usually 10,000 people go. Wow. We're keynoting that, Mama Z and I, Saturday and Sunday.
Wonderful.
Next week. And we'll be signing books, shaking hands, hugging babies, and we'd love to say hello to you guys. And we just want to hang out. So the Alive Expo and a lot of cool things. And next week, you'll love this. 700 Club on Wednesday. 700
Club.
Yes, wow. Wednesday morning.
On Wednesday.
Mama Z and I are going to be demoing some of the recipes, and CBN, Christian Broadcasting Network, is going to be doing a main segment on us in the book and oils. And we're just so excited. So thank you so much for really just so excited to be here. Yes. And we love and appreciate you and your ministry. And we can't wait to get on again sometime, maybe after summer, after things cool down, after Mama Z wins her pageant.
That's right. Oh, tell me about your pageant. When is your pageant?
We gotta go.
Yes, absolutely. It's June 9th in Roswell, Georgia. It's the Mrs. Georgia America pageant. I'm blessed to be the first runner-up, right now reigning. So we're just excited to just see what God has for us. And it's just a great way to, take your health even to the next level, because you have to be so well-rounded being in the pageant. And it's always my blessing to be able to speak on the things that we do every day. And so this is just a great avenue, but it's nice because through the pageant, it opens up so many doors that I'm able to speak to audiences that I wouldn't normally have the opportunity to about these things that are so important regarding our health.
Now, can you win again?
I'm the first runner-up, so we want to win this thing this year.
Okay.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she second place. So she had second place last year.
Okay.
And she's competing again. She won swimsuit last year.
Okay, I get it now. Okay.
June 9th. And then, God willing, we'll be all in Vegas for Mrs. America, and we'll see where that goes. So
wonderful.
Yeah,
we'll see what God's plan is. Absolutely.
Congratulations and congratulations on the book. Lots of information. I'm glad that I have my copy. What was that again? I'm sorry, Dr.
Thank you so much for having it. We really, really appreciate it.
You get the teacher star sticker because you have notes in the margin, and you have Post-it notes. Like, that's my favorite right there. If I had stickers right here, you'd get one right on your book.
Thank you so much. And for those of you who are watching today, please share this video. Let's help people grow. Give options in how to heal, as opposed to reaching for the bottle of a pharmaceutical drug. Perhaps before you do that, there might be an alternative way to heal your body. And you never know. You might discover a new passion, just like Dr. Eric Z. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I know you're busy, and you went above and beyond the show. So thank you so much. And please share, like us, YouTube, do all that stuff, and subscribe, and help us grow this message of a new truth. Till we meet again. See ya. Bye-bye. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
Here we go. Okay, hold on.